as you can see behind us, we're here at the QSC Experience Centre in the UK today, where I've had the pleasure of sitting down with QSC Chairman and CEO Joe Pham. Joe delivered a really interesting keynote at Infocom a couple of weeks back on the topic of AI and how everything is changing. And so, with Joe currently in the UK at the moment, we figured that this is a great opportunity for us to sit down in person and dig into the subject a little bit more. So Joe, thank you for inviting us to talk to you today. I was particularly keen to come and have this conversation in person, just to make sure I'm talking to real Joe and not AI Joe.
You've seen the keynote.
I have, in fact, yes. So I was tucked in the back of that room. You're now quite infamous. Everything has changed Infocom keynote. It seems to have really struck a chord with people. So for anyone who didn't see it, take me through it quickly. What's your argument?
Well, first, great to see you, Simon. Thanks for taking the time. But yeah, I'm glad you saw the keynote. You know, it was really, I just wanted to really have a chance to speak to the industry, and it was a great honor to actually have the chance to deliver the keynote. And so everything has changed, meaning the exponential pace of technology that we're experiencing today, leading to this moment of AI, changes our world forever. Also, almost more importantly, and since it does affect every industry, it affects ours, but our industry is so uniquely positioned to leverage this power of AI to do what we've always wanted to do as an industry, which is really connect human beings and elevate experiences. And so the keynote went through the arguments of how we are so primed to do that, not only because we control the senses, but also because we actually have just a treasure trove of data, which is the critical factor in enabling AI.
It was that emphasis on the importance of AV that particularly struck me.
Yes.
You know, so often we play the back seat, don't we,
yes.
in this industry.
Right.
So it was really nice to see you flip that around and say, no, but we shouldn't be this way. We must come first.
It's our moment, and that's the stepping up to center stage. We've always set the stage for others, you know, so to speak, right? But really, it's our time, especially since the world needs human connection more than ever before. Not only for sort of human joy, but enterprises with hybrid work and all of that, right? Connecting the workplace is a critical top of mind for many, many enterprises.
So how do we step up in AV?
Probably the most important thing is to see how the AV industry sits in this world of AI that, you know, the whole planet is going to go through. To me, the most interesting part is how AI will intersect with the real world. Our industry sits at that intersection with the very unique point of view of controlling sight and sound, the two most important senses for human connection. So that gives our industry purpose. It guides that we as an industry need to shape AI to enhance human connection and elevate experiences. How we do that is technology, right? The only way that you're going to do that is through technology. And, you know, I talk about the full stack AV platform, right? Really designing a holistic platform. Technology is our greatest asset to really deliver the human experience.
Change is going to be happening so fast that one person's lifetime is completely different for the next person's lifetime. At some point, that's going to be 1 year is totally different to the next year.
Right.
And how do we
adapt as humans?
Yeah, how do we begin to work towards that future in a sensible way?
We can't predict where the world would be 1 year from now. And so the only thing we can do as humans is sort of build the skills to be resilient to change, to adaptive to change, to flexible to change. And I think one of the most important things is this curiosity to learn. You want to develop the skills so that no matter what happens, you are able to adapt and be flexible. And that applies in our life, and that applies in our AV systems too. And so I would say learn, you know, have a passion for learning, whether it's YouTube videos or podcasts or white papers or seminars or training, right? Have that curiosity to learn and just that passion to do so. And then you will have the skills to adapt to all the changes, because you can't predict the changes.
I mean, you said it several times in your talk. We've always played second fiddle to IT in elements of that. And I'd argue our industry's been happy to take that back seat many times, despite the importance of a lot of the experiences that may make happen. But the guys who are driving this conversation, at least from the public side, it's the big boys, the Microsoft, the Googles, OpenAIs or whatever. How do we inject ourselves into that part of the conversation Do they already care about us? Are they already looking?
The Microsofts, the Googles, the OpenAIs, the Metas, they are spending hundreds of billions of dollars on AI development. We're not in that space. But we get to leverage the AI technologies that those large companies invest in and develop for our usage. And where we do provide value, though, is data. And then do they care about AV? I think every institution is going to care about AV because they need to connect their employees, and the customers are demanding an elevated experience, and yet we are the industry that provides that. And so I don't know one CEO who would not want his or her organization to be more connected.
I mean, another thing you talked about a lot in your talk was this idea of a full stack AV platform.
Yeah, it's basically a holistic system that integrates hardware, software, data management, cloud services. And when you have this holistic system, just like the one you're carrying in your pocket, it has a tremendous amount of benefits, and it's got three parts, which I talked about at the Infocom. Multimodal I/O. So these are all the input-output devices that connects the platform to the real world. Since now you have all of that, you have a tremendous amount of data. And so that's the second part, which is what we call the intelligent data pipeline. And then the third piece, which is the cognitive cloud. And this is where, machine learning, artificial intelligence, all sorts of cloud services will come into play because it has access to all that data through the ecosystem. Once you do all that, then organizations can start from, somewhere and keep building. They can leverage all the great AI tools that will come into play and really get their enterprise and other vertical, into sort of a unified system that keeps on scaling. It's the same thing in your pocket.
But if we're here today, though, you're in the AV industry, you're running a business where, how can you start to take advantage and look at implementing some parts of intelligence in the current state?
I would encourage enterprises to look across their AV systems and where are the biggest gaps. Two very, very common examples that will surface quickly is computer vision and remote monitoring management. Those technologies are here, right? Whatever you invest in for your needs of today, those investments should pay off for your needs of tomorrow.
How do you think that this conversation will play out over the next decade? Do you think that there is going to be a lot of pushback to go to AI and AI systems? Do you think the conversation will sit there in the background? It's had its shining light moment and it's not going away anywhere now, but little adoptions will happen over the time? Or do you think it will be just wholly embraced by everybody?
It's going to have its ups and downs, but if you sort of take the steady state of where this is going, it's only up and to the right. This is what I would call a phase shift moments. And Simon, there's been three in our life. Okay, the internet, mobile, and AI. So we're never going to go back to a world where we're not playing with large language models. Because it's a new technology and it moves so fast and there's so many different angles that's happening in it today, it's hard to predict where it goes, etc. But we're never going back.
So whether they like it or not, they're along for the ride, really.
Whether you like it or not, we're along for the ride. It's going to penetrate and influence our industry no matter what the different players in the industry do. But the pioneers in our industry have a chance to shape AI for the purpose of our industry. And so in individuals, going back to the individuals, you can either be very passive observer and just sort of see it affect individuals, or you can be a very active participant in this journey, because we're not going back.
Maybe this time next year, we'll be able to sit down and the conversation might have entirely changed again.
I would love to do it again. It's always great to talk to you, Simon.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you so much.